Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of the Family Dynamics Podcast. I have a very, very special guest. This is a bit of a twist, and I'm excited to bring you guys Miss Maya Chapman. Introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, I am Amiyah Chapman. Big emphasis on Chapman. I am the only Amiyah Chapman at Xavier University of Louisiana. Currently at Xavier, I am a junior and my major is public health sciences with a double minor in biology and chemistry. And yeah, that is a little bit about myself. Nice to see y'all. Nice being a part of this production.
No, look, I'm super excited because in today's society, like now you're seeing more HBCUs being highlighted, and you had Deion Sanders at JSU, you have Howard being highlighted, and now Xavier University. Man, I think maybe top three. So to have you on today, just to really explain and to really get a glimpse of the Xavier life, and I know now you are running for a campaign, so that's super exciting. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about your experience as an HBCU student? What year you're in school?
Yes. So, like I have said, I am a junior at Xavier University. So, I am a third year student, full time student at Xavier. And I couldn't have it no other way but attending a HBCU. I really enjoyed my experience so far at Xavier. It's been really treating me well. And it's just like, it's very different for me because I came from a predominantly white school. And so just being one out of like you can't even count on two hands the number of students that were African American in my school district. And so when I got to Xavier, it was really a culture shock because I got to see and be around peers that are young, intelligent, hardworking, very work driven students. And so it wasn't like the typical average day that I used to have at in my old school and high school and even grade school. I could even go back all the way to like first grade. It's been me. It's been like I have been the only African American student out of probably like 8, 9 students at my whole school or even in the school district. So it's very I couldn't have it any other way but to go to a HBCU. And my experience at Xavier has been really well.
Now, just to expound on that, I know you said it was a culture shock coming to an HBCU by being in a predominantly Caucasian or white uh, public school, coming from that into now. Like, how have you adjusted? I know you've been in school for about 3 years now and being adjusted. And as we're on this podcast now, it seems like now you're very acclimated into the HBCU life and into the culture. So, how was that adjustment, and how have you adjusted thus far?
I can say like me adjusting to Xavier, it really worked its own self out. It was I couldn't even count how many peers and faculty members, staff that when it was my first year at Xavier, it felt like home. Not to mention my family is from New Orleans, but it was just like I'd never been to New Orleans. I didn't even step foot on Xavier's campus until it was moving day. And so when I did automatically go onto the campus, it was with open arms and I just couldn't appreciate it enough because it was just adjusting to Xavier, it really worked its own self out with me and my experience because it felt like everybody was in the same boat trying to get to know the city, trying to get to know how does Xavier operate on a daily basis because moving day that's majority freshmen or transfer trying to come onto this Xavier tradition and learn about what it means to be a Xavier, right? And so I could definitely say the students that attended Xavier and then the faculty and staff members, they were really welcoming and it wasn't as though we were just put out into just this random institution. It was too big and you felt so small. No, not at Xavier. Mm-mm. Everybody knows everybody, and as a large number of students that they're the sorry the numbers are very like large of students that attend to Xavier, and so it's like you aren't left out and you are involved in a lot of different things at Xavier. So it's not like you can just go and do another club or you're just another number, because that's not the case.
Now, Xavier, well, New Orleans is really known for like, African American history, historic food and fashion. Um, I know that was super exciting coming from where you came from. Where actually did you come from before you got to Xavier University?
So, what's easier for y'all to understand is Chicago, Illinois. Everybody knows where Chicago is.
That time.
But I am from the south suburbs of Chicago. And I will go into details, but y'all probably don't know where so I'm just gonna say the south suburbs of Chicago. And being from the south suburbs of Chicago, yes, I did visit the city. I don't live far from the city. I live a couple 30 minutes away, but it's just like coming down to New Orleans is definitely a different vibe than the city, quote unquote, life of Chicago or being in an up north state. So
No, that's awesome. So as we know, it seems like you got acclimated pretty good. I'm sure you enjoy some of the food, some of the festivities that New Orleans has to offer. Now, you know, a lot of students and a lot of people when they go somewhere, mostly introverts like myself, we don't get too much involved into the day-to-day activities or getting involved in some of the extracurricular activities. And I know that's been some of your background, being coming from a white institution. Now, what are some things um, that you got into once you got into Xavier University?
So me attending Xavier, I actually got a scholarship for cheerleading.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I am a competitive cheerleader at Xavier University of Louisiana. Gotta include the of Louisiana. And I'm a third year member, so that's what initially drove me to attend Xavier University outside of academics. Um, but while being acclimated to the school and everyday student typical life, you start hearing more clubs and different societies and getting to know what is what and being involved with interactions with different peers. And so came across joining multiple of clubs. I almost said organizations. And so I got involved with being in multiple clubs and different societies, such as I'm a project coordinator for Max, and that's mobilization at Xavier 2.0. I'm also
So
president over the Association of Student Athletes. I am also a member of Peer Dean Association. That's one of the top 5 school. Can we start this over?
no, no, no. I look, I was waiting for you to finish all of your accolades and all of your stuff because I'm really interested in what you first said is about the competitive cheer because I personally seen in newspaper, I seen that you guys were actually national champions in 2022. You cannot have our listeners on the edge of the seat. You got to tell us about that because you coming to Xavier. Look, Xavier, I did some research, and Xavier has never have had the opportunity to be the NAIA national champions in that competitive cheer. You got to tell us about the experience in that. And being that you were on the team. Now, I know it's about team, but because you inserted yourself, you were able to participate and actually um you was actually able to contribute to that win. So how was that? You gotta tell us how that was.
It was honestly amazing. The season prior to that, I had got injured for the first time ever in my whole cheerleading career. So that was a shock to me, my family, my teammates. Um, and to bounce back in the next season, less than 8 months, I was able to compete and train and practice to ultimately win NAIA National Cheerleading Championship. And that was one of the best experience that I can ever have, to be a part of history, more so because we are the first HBCU cheerleading team to ever win a NAIA National Cheerleading Championship title. So it was honestly, it was a blessing, and it was one to definitely remember.
Now, having that win, now we're in 2023. I know you guys are trying to do it again. Is it pressure? Like, is it like how is that? Because I know you explained that you're a part of Peer Dean, you're a part of Max, and you actually were national champions of last year. And I mean, something so illustrious and glorious to that. You guys will actually set foot on the Pelicans floor. I've never been to a basketball game in my life, but to see you guys in the newspaper on the Pelicans floor, like, is it pressure now that you have received that honor and that award last year in 2023? The pressure is even more. Like, do you feel that pressure, or it's like business as usual? It's like this is what you do.
So it is pressure, but we gotta put it on though. we gotta,
Ah,
we gotta walk into any space with poise and confidence that we got this, and we are Xavier Cheer for a reason. And being put into those spaces where all eyes are on you, and you do have people out there that have the outlook of saying like, well, they should never even won it, blah blah blah. They're the first HBCU, because not everybody's for you. And so what this season the cheer team is focusing on is focusing on poise, focusing on why do we show up to practice every day? Why do we do cheerleading overall? Why? What is our why? And I can't brag this enough, but Coach Glenn has really worked wonders for this team, that we can forever be grateful for this program at this institution, because he have done a lot that it took into account and paid off last season that we won. And you've seen it, his own vision come to a manifestation that it went viral. And I was so
yeah.
happy that I was a part of that experience.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of just a quick segue, man. This is just amazing because it seems like you've been in positions of leadership, and you know the whole everybody is kind of checking out your background. It says vote for Amiyah Chapman, and it seems like you've been in positions of leadership and a position as a winner. So let's talk about the reason why you're here. I want to talk about this vote, this campaign, this Xavier experience and what you're trying to bring to the campus and what you're trying to bring to this HBCU. Let's talk about that because we already know you're a winner. You take on tasks well, and you actually um, take on the responsibilities that are placed in front of you. So let's kind of talk about. We see your banner and says "Vote for Amiyah Chapman." What is that all about, and how can we support you?
So yes, isn't it lovely?
Oh, beautiful.
But we are running and having our spring SGA 2023 elections for next semester and next academic school year, for the title of all the executive positions, including Mr. and Mrs. Xavier, and the class offices positions of just simple class president, class secretary, and things of that nature, etc. And in the next 2 weeks, we are doing our campaign run to um,
for those of our listeners who haven't attended HBCU, or just even don't even know what you're talking about, like what is SGA? Like what is SGA? What does that mean?
For those that either attend a HBCU and don't know what SGA is, or those that don't attend a specific HBCU and don't know what SGA is. SGA is Student Government Association, and that's basically the student body. And you typically have a president for this association because it is an organization through the campus. And this just links the student body to the faculty members and the whole 9 yards of communicating any issues, problems that are, needing to be voiced on a university.
But okay, so you're running. How many other students are running in this sphere? Like how many other people are running?
So, in general, for this upcoming spring 2023 elections, there are over 50 candidates
Oh
that are
wow.
different various class positions and executive positions within the SGA. And so it's a lot of us, but there are different branches because it goes into that nature. But yeah, I'm running for Ms Xavier University of Louisiana.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, hey, we know you are no stranger to pressure. 50 people is nothing for you. You stood on stages with multiple hundreds of people, multiple teams, so we know that you're no stranger to pressure. But let's dive deep into what is it that you feel in this time, because now it's just you. Now, along with your team that you have, it's really just you. So let's unpack what is it that Amiyah Chapman brings to the student body as a candidate, and why does she feel like, or why do you feel like you're going to win, or that you should win, or you should be awarded this opportunity?
So, granted that there are other candidates that bring their own qualities that will make them great um, leaders within their roles that they may desire. However, I am Amaya Chapman, and
Yeah,
there are qualities that I withhold that people don't know, people may know. And it's more so like I'm about to tell you.
that's what we here for. We want to know. I want to know it.
And so, me being put into one of those exclusive elite positions here at Xavier University, it would be like amazing to withhold because I know that I am very hardworking, I'm very driven, and I bring that positivity that makes everybody feel included. So it's just
Mm,
like when I first got here, as I mentioned earlier, it felt natural. It didn't feel like it was scripted coming to Xavier University. And I feel like I withhold that within myself and I give others that particular quality of myself to others.
so, as a candidate, like what can we expect, or what can the students expect from you um as you run? Like what is your initiative? Like what is it that you plan to bring, or what are some things in your head, or in your wheelhouse, that you feel like this is what the student body needs right now?
So, a part of my platform, what I'm basically going to be campaigning in the next 2 weeks, um, specifically starting on February 27th, what I'm bringing and what I'm trying to bring awareness to is the youth within our community. And not only focusing on the student body and academics that you guys see it in the numbers, we see it
Yeah.
on the news. It was just on Good Morning America. Yes, we are bringing these numbers in and up, but we need to start implementing the greatness and excellence starting in our youth within our community because they are looking up to us. So I don't know if I should touch on my campaign platform.
Yeah, hey, look, let's hear about it, because this is sounding spicy right now. Like you like Well, outside of academics, we need this, this, and this. I want to hear it. I know everybody else will want to hear it.
So yes, my platform is called Xavier and Co. It's a spinoff on Tiffany and Co., the company and luxury brand, and that's only because I look up to Xavier University as a whole of elite excellence, bringing
Mm.
that, giving the girls what it needs to
Yeah,
be. And
yeah,
so, in other terms, I appreciate my institution and I treat it as such because we are excellent, and within Xavier there are um very much so intelligent students that attend there. So that's
I agree.
the little background
Yeah,
of why I chose Tiffany and Co. But my platform, so Xavier and Co., the CNO stands for collaborative outreach. And what I want to produce throughout my platform is have the student body of Xavier outreach as a collective to local NOLA communities that withhold the youth, and we start building stronger relationships and creating better opportunities and networking for our youth to make sure we see the future that we would like to see. And how can we make a difference if we're not actually
yeah.
putting effort or taking any real actions to implement these changes? That is what my biggest drive is going to be for this platform. That is why I want people to understand that it takes a village for sure, and we as a collective, we can do it. And so that's why my campaign is Xavier and collaborative outreach, because it just doesn't take one person, one group, or a specific group of people. It takes effort. It takes a lot of people to get the changes that you would like to see within your communities. And so to change the environment that some of us, we're only here at Xavier to graduate and move on. Some people actually find interest into staying at Xavier after graduation. And so, regardless, we are living in this environment. So if we would like to see better, we got to do better. We got
Yeah.
to go into the community and do much better. And that starts off with going and connecting with the youth, hearing what the youth have to say, and we can give better advice. We can host better events. We can collab with other groups of people to get where we're trying to get to for our future.
And so one thing that I know that I kind of like what you said, and it's kind of like it's a village, right? And being in the digital age of what you guys are coming up in now, it's like your village has actually expanded because online you got social media, you got so many different private spaces that um your reach can be so much more. But then there are some people that still feel with so much information out there and so much community that there are still students that feel a little bit closed in or a little bit isolated. So I like that you are outreaching to the community. Look, New Orleans at one point, I don't know if it's still what number it lies in, but New Orleans at one point was one of the murder capital of the United States. And to hear that there's youth coming up, Gen Z, I think you're Gen Z, that you guys are coming up, and what you're trying to do with your community and how you trying to outreach to the younger youth is very important because it's not just one off. It doesn't feel like it's a one off. So that's why I asked you, like, what do you feel like you give? And I know you got your ear to the streets, meaning the Xavier streets, the New Orleans streets, to see what other kids, what do they need? What do they want? So how do you feel with you and your team, how you guys are gonna champion this initiative that you have?
So what we have came up with was, if I had the opportunity to obtain the role of Ms. Xavier, I am guaranteed that I will be hosting events that will be connecting, whether that be schools, whether that be rec centers, whether that be little after school church activities, and having service Saturdays, doing more outreaching that we already do at Xavier, but specifically to the youth and not just to maybe gardens or maybe to architecture or going to museums and volunteering, but actually giving the youth educational advice and hosting mentorship opportunities so they can know, like, okay, like I was presented this opportunity, and even though they're probably 6 or maybe even 3 years old, they can know, like, okay, like I can do this. I can
Yeah.
go and I can meet other people that have been in my shoes before long ago, and I am able to connect and be able to voice out my own feelings. And I want to do this sport or activity, but what if their family can't afford it? And so we host those events so they can feel that inclusiveness of being a part of a wonderful organization and feeling the love that Xavier actually had for the community of NOLA as an entirety. And so I know that being able to connect with these youth, and some of the youth are going to be eventually led into Xavier. So why not start now? Why not start with reaching out and
Yeah.
networking and getting these younger kids and even graduating seniors, although they possibly not going to attend Xavier, but whatever institution, we can leave some sort of mark on them to let them know, like, they got this, they will finish, and things of that nature. So that's what my platform is really trying to outreach and get to change our future, because like it's nothing better to see your manifestations come to reality. And that's going back to when we won nationals. It was kind of like once you put in so much work,
Yeah.
you can have fun later. You can enjoy life much later. So I know that a lot of people were wondering how Gen Z and future generations would be. Well, let's not find out. Let's start implementing. Let's start connecting now to the youth. Nobody's too young and nobody's too old for anything to change. And so
Yeah.
that's what I am really trying to gear people to hone in and listen to what Amiyah Chapman is presenting, because we can start now. We can do it literally now.
Yeah.
So it really just take everybody to be on one page, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, no, it makes perfect sense. And I got a couple questions. One is for those who aren't attending Xavier University, what is Miss Xavier, and what does it mean to you to win or to become Miss Xavier? Because as I see it, you would be the 88th, right? I think it's yeah, you'll be the 88th Miss Xavier, we're believing that right now because I love your initiative. Like, what is one? The first question is, what is Miss Xavier, and what does it mean to you? Because Miss Xavier is kind of like an icon, right? She's looked up to. She's actually adorned in certain spaces, and what does that mean for you? Because you know what? A lot of people, especially in our US government, like we kind of think about like, okay, what is it for me? As a student, you get to be Ms. Xavier. I get to get your outreach. I get to get your initiative. But what next? So my first question is, what is Ms. Xavier for those who don't know? And my second question is, what does being Ms. Xavier mean to you?
So for those that you don't know about HBCU Queens in general, at Xavier University, Miss Xavier is basically the ambassador, the face, the main person that other people would look upon of the representative of the institution as an entirety. So Ms. Xavier is the one simply outreaching and getting people familiar with Xavier and basically the representative of the excellence that it withhold. Um, and the next question of me possibly obtaining this opportunity of becoming Ms. Xavier, the ADA, I can't even stomach the words. It would just be like amazing. And if y'all only knew the story of how I got here to Xavier University of Louisiana, it speaks for itself. I'm gonna go a little bit deep.
Yeah, 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 give it to us.
Um, so I have had three grandmothers that have passed back to back for a consecutive 3 years. And
Mm,
so two of my great grandmothers, they, they were from both sides of my family, my mom and my dad's side. However, the great grandmother on my mother's side, my grandmother Sarah, she is from New Orleans.
oh,
And so she have gave birth and raised children. That is my grandmother Donna, that she had passed away as well. And my grandmother was raised here in New Orleans, and then my great grandmother Sarah, she moved to Chicago, and that's how I ended up in Chicago. But it I felt like I was here. I came to Xavier for a reason. Um, the year that I graduated was year of 2020, and that's when COVID had happened. And
yeah,
so a lot of things shut down, and it really took a lot of time for things to get acclimated and people get back to normal living again. But it was definitely a time where people had thinking space, a lot of thinking space. And so a lot of things changed in my life. And one of the changes was me attending Xavier University of Louisiana. And I couldn't have it no other way. And so, me attending Xavier University, it gave me the outlook of inclusiveness, being able to network and connect with peers effortlessly, and not only enjoying what it means to be an HBCU student. And so, obtaining the role of Ms. Xavier, I'm able to not only appreciate the hard work that I
yeah,
put in for almost 4 years. Next year will be my graduating year that I have put into this institution, and the work that I have um, exceed tremendously, not only by being a full time student, but also I'm a full time worker as well. On top of that, I'm an entrepreneur. And so all of these things happening and being also a full-time athlete at this
yeah,
institution, there's a lot of challenges and adversity that I face day by day by day by day. I'm so used to it that it's not even funny. Like
yeah,
it's like that's what life is. And not only me being Ms. Xavier, I can connect with other students on multiple platforms and being able to relate to them in certain situations. It's just like being Ms. Xavier, I can really tell it all. I've been through enough.
yeah,
I've been through any storm, and I came out successfully. And it was just like being into these elite positions and making executive decisions and being all eyes looked on you. I've been through that as well. I've been one of the few African American students at in 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 the entire school district. So I've been looked at. I've been the only African American cheerleader at my school before. I've been through lots of trials and tribulations of facing racism on
mm,
any skill possible. It's just as though what work ethic do the candidates really have? And
Right.
so I know my work ethic is that even though things get hard, I can get through it not only by myself, but I have a strong support system as well that support what I do present. We do discuss, we do have our own side remarks and comments to get a resolution at the end of the day. But at least I know that I have other people that trust my judgment, trust the conversations that I have because I'm real. I'm very real and genuine. And not only that I'm putting myself forth and having my own self-confidence being all eyes looked on me on a different scale other than being in newspapers back at home or being ambassadors for big companies such as
Yeah.
Black Girls Cheer. I've been through being looked at and being known for the way that I stuck out. But in this case, being Ms. Xavier, it's not sort it's not me being sticked out upon, it's me inviting others to be included. And
Hmm.
rather than being an outlier, I want to show people why is Xavier, show people why they should attend here. Not only, oh yeah, we're Xavier, we have produced the most black doctors within the entire country. But let me tell you why this is a great balance for not only attending for academics, but also you can join a club as well. You can do it
Yeah.
well. You can work as well. You can also come up with a whole business while in school as well. I've done it all. And so it's just, I feel as though me being put into this position and not only outreaching to the youth, they can honestly connect to me on any level possible. That I am really proud of myself that I'm being able to speak on that. Okay.
See, what I love about what you just said, and I could listen to you for hours, is that I really appreciate you showing the humanistic part of you, and your journey. I'm really taken aback because, you know, losing three key people in your life at the time where you're trying to start a new journey, and then also having the huge adversity of something that we're in or out. I'm not sure where we're at as far as COVID and dealing with that. And what I've known, or what I know about you, is that, you sit in both seats as an extrovert and an introvert at times. So you like an ambivert, right? So to see that you come to Xavier University, come to New Orleans, and be enforced to be isolated in one place by yourself because of the restrictions that the US and the government had on us, and coming and trying to push past some of those adversities. And when you was talking, all I can hear is, words that I can put with you was, um just your tenacity, your zeal, you pressing forward through the tremendous amounts of things that you had to go through, and even trying to amass the processes of loss and grief, and still able to press forward. Your strength is super superb. So my heart goes out to you, and to see that you're still strong, and you've been a winner thus far. So I don't know where you're gonna land in this campaign. You truly, if I was a student, you truly would have my vote as Ms. Xavier. And given that community is so important to you, and given that regardless of what you're going through, that you will press forward, and people matters the most to you. Being excellent, being at a top tier, and exuding excellence has been, and this is what I've been getting out of what you said, just exuding excellence outside of whatever trials or tribulation that you've been going through. And this is just what I got out of what you've been saying. Like, it speaks total volumes, and I can only imagine. So you just explained to us what Ms. Xavier means to you. Like it's almost like we need to explain why we shouldn't want you to be Ms. Xavier. Like we should want you to be Ms. Xavier because in times of trouble, in times of adversity, Amiyah Chapman will prevail and she will press forward, and all of her emotions and all of what she got going on personally she'll put to the back because people, community matters, and outreaching to those that are less fortunate or who do not have the opportunities or are skeptical, she is there to nourish and be there for you. And I'm totally an advocate for you because my heart goes out to you because a lot of things that you said you went through would have caved or would have folded a lot of people. Just if you'd have just took everything off the table and just put COVID, a lot of people didn't make it today and they're still trying to pick their face up. So I know that you've dealt with a lot and I appreciate you sharing the humanistic part of you. And I know, and just for something light, what are you hearing now? Look, being Ms. Xavier and in this candidacy, it's kind of like an oxymoron, right? You're trying to bring people together, but you're actually competing as you've always done with other candidates. How does that make you feel that you are actually trying to pull people together and trying to create a community, but you're actually competing against other men and women for the opportunity to have Ms. Xavier?
Yeah, so it's hard. And like it's difficult trying to be, you know, having that sense of inclusive and being well diverse and trying to create a community. But it's just as though you have to put forward what you can possibly put forward, and you just gotta go and live by what you stand on. Now you can't come out and say, "Oh yeah, I promise you this, I promise you that." I didn't promise y'all nothing. I am going to say who I am as a person, what is evident in my work, and what I know that I can go through and put through. I'm not giving out false promises.
Yeah.
This is who I am. Look it up.
Right, right. I got you. I got you.
This is who I am. And it's been talks that I'm too nice and what else do I bring besides being nice? Well, get to know me. Know who I am. I've done lots of work, and I put forth lots of efforts to get to the position that I am in right now that a lot of people couldn't even go through. And it's not to brag or it's not to put down others, but it's just the realness of I am very strong. I am a very strong person, and that I am willing to put in effort and work and being able to get through a lot that I know that is difficult, but it's just how bad do you want it? And me putting myself out on various platforms right now is going to get bigger, it's going to grow, and I'm very excited for that. But I'm also staying true to who I am.
Yeah.
And me being too nice, you gotta it's something, ain't no way. I can't compete with that. I'm a nice person. And so it's just that's a part of my characteristic. I mean, yes, as I said, I'm a full-time student, I'm a full-time worker, and I'm a full-time athlete. And so I'm very preoccupied into my studies, into making my money, and
Yeah.
so staying and being a part of my institution by making history and doing what I love, and that is cheerleading. And so it's just me, but being too nice, that is just crazy.
You know, it's fun. It's funny because to be honest with you, if that's the worst of the negativity that you're gonna get along this journey as a candidate, hey man, if I were you, I say I'd take it, man. So I know you got your ears to the streets and you're hearing some of this stuff. And if one of the things is being too nice, hey, I say let it roll off your back like a duck's, word off your back like water off a duck's back. So, I mean, have you heard anything during this process that would make you go, that's not me, or you got me wrong? Like, besides being nice, like, have you heard anything else that you would like to address? Like, hey, that's not me. Get to know me, or what else would you like to share? Because
No.
everybody would like that juicy tea. Everybody, come on, give me some of that.
I know. No, I haven't heard anything except that I'm too nice.
Oh,
And so it's just me being too nice. That's really it. I mean, they want to know all my accolades, and I could go days on days on days upon days about saying that from the Rudy to the Tootie, but it's just me being too nice and others not really couldn't put a Maya Chapman to a face. That's all that I'm worried. That's all that is worried. And there is another candidate with a similar name as me that's on that ballot, but let's get it right, it's Chapman. And
there you go.
so
There
I
you
just have to be focused on myself. I'm not, just because you know me as being too nice. Hi. That's all
go.
I can say. Because my work speak for itself. I'm president over the Association of Student Athletes, if you didn't know. And so a lot of people understand what that organization had went through and why um it went the way it did. However, a lot of people appreciate the work that I have put forth. Yes, I am not on campus day by day, hour by hour, because I do have other duties in life.
Yeah, you busy. You
And
busy, girl.
so me being not as seen frequently on campus, I do a lot of behind the work things
Hmm.
that present itself, such as the student athletes athletic picnic that happened last semester, early last semester, and everybody had a blast.
Oh
If you
wow.
didn't hear about it, then you should have been there because everybody was talking about it. And so little things like that that I put together, and I started networking and connecting with other people, it turned out to be a really great event and everybody loved it. And so I'm thinking about having another event this semester, this spring semester. And so it should be fun, just to end the school year. But that's a little insider. But it's just like I'm not too worried. It's just I'm the underdog and I'm willing to take it. That's what I've heard. That's what people have been telling me. So I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take the underdog.
Look, you're definitely the underdog. And we don't like to harp on the negativity, but we do like to, just kind of put it out there. And I appreciate that you took an opportunity to, hey, this is what I'm hearing. Negativity to me is a reflection of the person, right? So if, like I said before, if you being too nice is a negative reflection on you, hey, there's a lot more to come. And look, if you're not seeing, I love what you said. You said, if you're not seeing me on campus each and every day, that's because I'm working. I'm working. So you ain't seeing me because I'm working. If you seeing me every day and all day, that's because I ain't got nothing to do. And building community, outreaching to the community, being involved in the behind the scenes stuff to get things done. That's what Amiyah Chapman is about. That's what I got out of it. So if you're
Yeah.
not seeing her all of the time, and think about this, if she's not nice, how would people even be able to be approachable to her? So this is what I got. I'm definitely, you got my vote if I was a student, and I definitely appreciate that. And not to, if there's anything else you want to share, but one thing for sure, I want to make sure that before we get off, that people have the opportunity to connect with you, to be a part of this process when it comes to being voting, to being voted upon. So can you kind of give us, hey, when is the process is to vote? When will you go live with everything that you have to offer, and how can people connect with you?
So yes, so like I said, the SGA Spring 2023 elections start February 27th to March 3rd. I will be going live on Instagram for sure because I love Instagram. But I'm gonna go live on Instagram, Facebook, and possibly TikTok. And you can connect with me Instagram at Pretty Face with a period. Maya Miyah spelled just like this, like this. So just like that. Sorry. Um, with another period with an underscore. And then on Facebook, you can look me up by just my name, Amiyah Chapman. On Twitter, it's Chapman Amiyah. I'm going to be tweeting about exclusive events that's going to be happening during the campaign, as well as my campaign team. And yeah, TikTok is the same as my Instagram. So those will be my platforms that I'm going to be using. And I just can't wait for y'all to join this journey with me. I mean, it's so much like it's happening that I want to also enjoy this moment because a lot of people don't get this opportunity or don't have
Yeah,
a chance to because they are so worried about the negativity and worried about what other people are saying. If me being too nice is the only thing that people don't know me of, then catch me election week. Catch
yeah,
during campaigning week. Even though we are campaigning to bring onto the student body why we're the best candidate, but you can also look at my records and what I have brought already to this institution.
yeah.
So
I like that. Now I know there's a lot of people that would love to support you. I know one thing that you had mentioned that you are also an entrepreneur. Before we get off, I want you just to give us a little tidbit about that and how can people donate to you, whether it's Zelle or Cash App, for those who just want to be a part of the mission and the initiative that you have going on. That maybe we can just reach our hand out and say, hey, whatever you need, whatever your initiative need, whatever the community need, we want to be able to be actually a silent voice to you. So how can people donate to you or just, you know, uh, take part in some of the personal things that you have going on with your entrepreneurship, which is an awesome thing that you're doing in conjunction with being a full-time student, being a full-time athlete, and being a full-time employee. So
yes, so me starting my business back in 2021 of February. So this was my first year at Xavier University, and I started my lash business, Maya's Meats. A lot of people on campus know Maya's Meats, and because I'm so busy and I'm in and out through class from class to work to cheer to going back to class the next day. A lot of people can't really put the face to the brand, and a lot of people are having difficulty matching my face to my name. And here I am, I'm Amiyah Chapman. And so my business, I'm very proud of myself that I started it my very first year. That was a big accomplishment for me because that was also the same year that everybody was trying to get acclimated with the COVID protocols and things of that nature. And so me starting that business and it being successful, I sold, I can say, over 400 lashes. And so me being able to do so and host two pop-up shops.
oh
I hosted my own two pop-up shops with other young entrepreneurs. And so it went big in Chicago. I had numerous of vendors DMing me and messaging me to be a part of my own pop-up shops that I've hosted myself. And so I'm capable of doing it. I'm
yeah,
capable
I see it.
at all. I'm capable of networking with the youth, with people our age. It's effortlessly. Like I've done it. I do this. And so um me being able to have that connection with other people of being too nice, it gets me places, and I am able to expand more opportunities onto other people so they can get more exposure that I really love about myself because I am that friend. I am that person that be like, oh girl, you need your hair done? You can go to her. Here's her Instagram. Here's this and this and this. Like I love it all. I love being able to help. I love the fact that It's young entrepreneurs that are in this generation and in younger generations that are actually getting acclimated into being successful just by creating an account, a simple account on any social media platform, and getting their business out there, because you never know. You never know who may like your style, who may need you in such a clutch. It happens, and it happens just like that. And so me creating my business, I of course I came with a strong mindset, knowing that I will be successful. And I have. I won, actually, class of 2024 entrepreneur of the year of my whole entire class at Xavier University of Louisiana. And so I've been asked even this year to be a part of the young entrepreneur pop-up shop, but due to my availability and me being busy,
Yeah.
class and then at cheer and traveling, yes, me stating that I am busy does not mean that I am not working. And the working, it doesn't have to be me actually punching in a clock. I do things for this university, such as getting more ideas and meetings with different faculty members to get our voice heard in different spaces, that you never know what could happen throughout a simple conversation, because I'm that much open to conversations with other people. And so it's kind of like natural for me to start up conversations. And so my business, it took no problem for it to get accumulated and people starting to know, because they like the little cute glitter boxes and the quality is there. It's real, just like how the owner is. And so it gives it gives the overall effect that it's just no one can do what I do, because I know that. And to have that mindset, it's not being cocky, it's just knowing who you are as a person, because it takes a lot. I mean,
True.
not everybody can do what you do, and that goes for any and everybody. Not one person can do things the way that you do them. And I hopefully y'all see it throughout this whole entire campaign, from the forefront through classrooms, through whatever you're going through. Just know nobody can do it how you do it. And so you have to walk and believe in yourself throughout this entire process. I know that I'm being put onto a bigger platform that I've ever been on yet, and I plan to go much bigger. And so I have no problem with that. It's just that I hope that everybody's ready for the real, for the genuine, and to be very humanistic, um giving that side of me that will ultimately help us as an institution.
I agree. Yeah. This has been a delight to get you to talk with you and just to really get, like you said, the humanistic part, and just to see where you are in your journey. And I'm definitely going to reach out to people that I know that have the reach to support you in Xavier University. And I really pray that you are the Ms Xavier, the 88th Ms Xavier, because you have a lot to offer. Our only advice I have is for you to continue to be you and to stay focused. And negativity is like an opinion that is reflected upon the person who's giving it. So, hey, shine on, girl. I appreciate you. Do you have any last words that you want to give to our listeners or to the audience through this process? And guys, I really want you to tap in on the 27th February to March 3rd and really support her. If you are in proximity, if you are a student, to really give her your vote. Amiyah Chapman, don't forget the Chapman. Vote for Amiyah Chapman.
Yes, y'all, and I can't wait to meet each and every one of you. Hopefully I see y'all throughout the entire campaign week. Come to my events if you want to know more about me. If you're still on the other side of the screen, like, I have this question or whatever, Well, come meet me. Come chat with me and come see what I do and be a part of this experience, because at the end of the day, this is supposed to be fun. This is a fun experience, and although I am competing against other candidates for this position, it's just the root of it all is to have fun and
Yeah.
being able to express yourself the way that you would like for a week at the institution. That's what I love. At least I get the opportunity to express who I am and have my events the way I want to have them at my institution, to show other peers and even faculty members, like, this is who I am. This is what I've been trying for y'all to see. This is what I've been trying to have y'all see, that I can do for this institution since I got here. So it's like I get a whole entire week to prove that to y'all. And so it's really comes down to the vote. My name is Amiyah Chapman, heavy on the Chapman. Um it's really y'all seeing and believing in me that's going to push me more to produce more, to give more for this entire university. And I can definitely say, even now, my campaign team members, they pushed me a lot to even get where I am right now. And I can't thank them enough. I can't thank my parents enough for even implementing such greatness into their daughter, that it's showing, and it's showing effortlessly, as well as my peers, my teammates. They're all looking and waiting. And here I am. This is who I am. And I hope that y'all can really take in what I am trying to get across. And for those that still have other, questions in the back of their minds, come meet me. Come talk to me. Ask me questions. Jump on the Instagram live, Facebook, any platform live. Come to my events and ask me. I am very willing to get exactly what y'all are trying to look for. And I am very capable of being confident in myself, that I know that I am capable of taking in any hardship or any challenge and getting over them. And so it doesn't matter how it may look like on one end to another. Just look throughout the entire process and see and feel, who do y'all want to be y'all 88th Ms Xavier University of Louisiana at the end of the day. What have they presented to y'all for that entire week to make you guys really believe in what can really change throughout the institution as a whole?
Well, listen, I thank you so much, Amiyah Chapman. You guys go vote for her. Um, this has been an awesome interview. I want to say thank you. And to all our listeners, hey, if you're in proximity, go meet Amiyah Chapman, and we'll see y'all in a minute.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Family Dynamics Podcast with Kevin and Alicia Meeks.
Thank you, guys.
Please like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to follow us on social media at The Family Dynamics.
We'll see y'all in a minute.
Bye.